Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. And the painting I'm bringing you today is called Twilight Tree. It's a 3.5 by 3.5. I painted this back in February, and it's been in my inventory of paintings to share with you. It's taking the place of what would normally be a Georgia Nest study, but this week has been I don't know, I'm pretty consistent, but this week I've been busy moving things around here at the house and just wasn't able to get a video, a Georgia Nest video together anyway. So, but stay tuned. Next week we'll have one for you, and we're going to keep rolling. I've got actually the drawing done on that. So I'm working on a 3.5 by 3.5, little piece of MDF actually here. I have a whole box of them all cut. And one thing I did, I had it prepped with transparent gesso. However, the color of MDF is like this very light kind of tan, and not a pleasant color to have peeking through. So what I did is I rubbed that board down with some burnt sienna and just let that dry. It actually took a little longer to dry than I thought it might as well, but not a big deal. And I'm doing my actual underpainting with some burnt umber, and that looks quite nice. Now this video, or this painting I should say, the video of this is in the members area, and the full-length video is under an hour. So one of the great things about these little minis is they go fast. They force you to work without detail. And they can be quite good, especially if you're the sort of person that maybe gets immobilized with either time requirements for painting, or also maybe you have a problem with detail. This is going to force you to focus on the big shapes and the color mixes. And I have to be honest with you, and you know I always am, that's like, 95% of the battle. That, pardon me, that the composition, the colors, the values, that is what makes your painting good. So you could scale something little like this up to 3 feet by 3 feet, and it would probably still look awesome. And that's, talking about old George, let's give him a little acknowledgement today, because normally it'd be his day, but I'm always really impressed when I find out that the painting I'm doing a study after is an 8 by 12 inch painting. He painted it as 36 by 40 whatever, and it looks brilliant. I know I've certainly experienced in the past when I've scaled things up that things don't feel as nice, so in fact, there's a lot of techniques for dealing with that, which I won't get into here. But so now also in the members area is the whole color mixing session for this video, which was frankly about 1/10 of the maybe 15% of that video. It went pretty quick, and I'm super happy with this painting. I'm not actually sure if it's in my possession, because I'm not at my studio right now, so it won't be in my store, because I'm not going to get in my car and go down there to check. But I did a little series of little 3.5 by 3.5. Maybe you remember, it was back in February. This is one that just I was sitting on, something else came up. But I have to say it's probably my favorite of the little series I did. The other thing I want to say about these little mini paintings is they have a lot of appeal. People really like them. I've seen them sell over 5 by 7s, and now I kind of prefer the 5 by 7 format a little better, because it goes quick too, but there's a little more room to get some stuff in there. But one of the reasons I did these minis was because they tend to sell. I have very little inventory on any of the minis I've done over the years. And actually, if you type the word mini into the channel search, if you go to my channel there's a search bar. YouTube doesn't make it that obvious, but put the word mini in there, you can see me do minis. I've gone through big phases with it. Every now and again I get back into it, and Who knows? I may again. I may again. Right now, I'm in sky phase, and that's maybe something we could talk about a little bit here. You know, don't a lot of times we have kind of a pull, in an interior pull between what it is we feel like doing and what it is we think we should be doing. I'd say in the battle between what it is we feel like doing and what it is we think we should be doing, you should go with what you feel like doing. Unless that means you feel like doing nothing but sitting on the couch and eating potato chips and watching Netflix. In that case, if you think you shouldn't be doing that, then don't do that. But assuming that the poll is between doing one type of scene or thing, like when I did these minis, I kind of felt like I should do some minis, and so I got some boards prepped and I did some minis. Right now, I'm really enjoying doing these sort of sky paintings, and I've learned that if I just follow that impetus, like, oh, that felt good, I'm going to do another. I'm going to do another, you know. And you build up a little, you know, a little body of sky paintings there. You could have a little show, or it doesn't really matter. In fact, what matters is that I feel like doing it, and I do it, and then it feels good, and so I do more. And that's all part of this positive reinforcement thing that you want to get latched into. And I'm teaching a class here at the Corey Art Center in Whangarei on Wednesdays now. And I'm going to probably try and record that, but that'll be in the members area. Um, and one of my themes that I like to hit on, and if you've been on the channel for any length of time, you'll be familiar with it, is I call it supporting yourself as an artist. And this is one of the ways that I do that, you know. If I feel like doing a certain type of painting, I do it. And the important thing is just to keep painting. Now it might be like, oh, maybe I feel like working on textured board. Maybe I feel like working on smooth board. I feel like working really tiny, or I feel like working larger, or I feel like painting skies that don't have any trees in them, or I feel like painting tree portraits. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're working. And this can actually go right down to the technique you use. Like maybe you feel that you want to do certain types of brush strokes, but you find when you're painting that you're not. Well, then don't. Do the sorts of brush strokes you're doing at that time, you know. Personally, I find that my brushwork changes quite a lot depending on the not the scale, of course, and the surface. When I'm working on the smooth boards. Anyway, that just goes in line with ideas like, say, you know, I thought, well, maybe I want to do some minis, so I got some boards prepped and had the red on them, and they were sitting there ready for when the impetus struck, and they turned out really nice. Speaking of this red color underneath here, that was actually a little stronger then, but back in the old days, if you go to the early days of the channel, you'll see that burnt sienna was my go-to color for the color of my ground on my paintings. Since then, I'm more into the natural hardboard tone, and if I am prepping a color on the board, I've had some nice success with sort of like a raw sienna tone. Many of you will remember my days of doing very dark burnt umber tone on the texture boards. That was maybe a year and a half or so. And you know, ultimately you get the paintings done, whatever the ground color is. I think it's almost anything but white would be my rule. Well, probably green would be a bad call too, depending on the painting you want to do. Gray can be absolutely wonderful, and gray is not just gray. I mean, we have cool gray, we have warm gray, so obviously warm gray undertone wouldn't work very well for a blue type painting. but it could work very well for just about, it could work well on a scene like this, no question. Um, so when you're doing minis, what you don't want to do is get your tiny brush out. I don't think. That's just my opinion. Get your tiny brush out and make, paint angels on the heads of pins, that kind of thing, Um, you want to have, like, this is a number, it probably looks like a 0 I'm using. But, it's about an eighth inch wide, and that's pretty big if you scale it up. It's not much different than, say, if I'd used a 4 at a larger size. Don't use tiny brushes. Don't use your little tiny sable brushes. And be okay with things being a bit rough, Actually, this part I'm painting in now, I really liked the way the red looked on the ground. I could have left it, but I thought, nah, that's a little too, it's a little too much, which would get, hey, been a while since I've laid this rule on you, and all these rules can be broken. You're going, what rule, Mike? What rule? Here's the rule, and I'm always laying this on my students here, and I'm going to lay it on you. Don't put things in your paintings that people ask questions about, like, why is the ground red? Where is that? What's going on? You won't be there to answer that question, unless you're that kind of artist, and I assume if you're that kind of artist, you're not watching my channel. Basically, I'm into making something beautiful that's striking, but I'm not making, political art or conceptual art, that's not my thing, and it's all good if that's what you're into or what other people are into. Oh, by the way, one of the reasons I'm zoomed out as far as I am is to try and get that palette in there, but it's a real challenge with a 3.5 by 3.5. Yeah. So, anyway, getting pretty close to the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this little mini come together. It's a beautiful little painting. If you're real interested in it, just shoot me an email. I'll look in my inventory and see if I do. I think I still do have it. I'm not sure, to be honest, but I really like the scene. I might paint it. I've actually painted the scene before. That's like a 6 by 8 or something like that. But I'm quite interested maybe doing an 8 by 8 or maybe even a 12 by 12 with it. I think it's very nice colors, nice composition, real simple but beautiful. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. I'll be back real soon with another video, God willing, and you'll come back next week for your Georgia Nest fix. It'll be happening. And until that time, do me a favor, do me a solid. Take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones. Stay out of trouble, and God bless you and your family.